Welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal take on Manchester City. This is your preview for the Sunday game. It's an important one. It's a difficult one because we've not beaten Manchester City in a very long time. 12 games against them in the Premier League. We have not recorded a single win. To dissect this game in the studio, back again, Vincent. Welcome back to the show, bro.
I've missed you so much.
I missed you as well. Yeah.
I greet you, our dear viewers, and yeah, we're going to be diving into this one. Hope we shall be able to break down what we expect in the coming.
Yeah, it's a game that has a lot of emotion. It's a game that has a lot of attention, and it's one that is going to be that precedes the international break. So you've got to win because we've got to bounce back. Actually, I think that's another reason for us to focus on the game. But let's start off with the injuries because it's a factor. Whether we win, whether we draw, whether we lose, it could be a huge factor. Saka is injured. Do you think we can go and have a go against Man City without Saka?
It will be very hard. You know, Saka, I've been following how Saka has been helping Arsenal over time. The winning rate for Arsenal when we don't have Saka and when we have him on the pitch drops significantly.
A lot, significantly.
I was watching Sky Sports, I think it was yesterday night, and they were comparing when Saka is around and then when Saka is away. Saka takes almost 60% win when Saka is around, then Arsenal win. Then 50 point, I think something like a 6 win if Saka is away. You can see the impact. Then when it comes to driving the team into the aggressive positions, of course Saka has been doing it for, I don't know,
three consecutive seasons. Our most important player, you would say, in the final third.
You can understand how impactful Saka is in terms of creating chances, shooting from inside the box and outside, and then
areas,
of course linking with Martin Odegaard and the likes. And of course Saka, remember the initial days of Bukayo Saka was like a defender, so had something defensive. I remember, I think it was one of the games, was it against Nottingham Forest, that goal for Elanga. Saka was the only guy who was trying to stop the guy. So if Saka is away, I feel like it is going to be good enough. According to the interview I've seen, Arteta has been, I don't know, some few hours ago, Arteta has just confirmed that Saka might be around.
Yeah, he says he is in contention, and that's a big question as well, because I asked it on the channel before. Do you think we should play him against City and risk giving a chance to England to play him in the international break, or do we actually rest him during this City game, and therefore, you know, we could communicate with England and say he's not in a good shape, right? Do not take him for the international break for the next 2 weeks. But if Gareth Southgate looks at him playing against Man City, he will feel, well, you have no right to stop me from playing him against Australia and Italy, 2 weeks away. So what do you think we should do?
We must look at the biggest picture,
which is 30 games after Man City. That's the bigger picture.
But Arteta has been putting it very clear. We need a game
by game.
Yeah, I know. So we are not going to concentrate on the 30 games away. Let's first concentrate on getting City, because I think the competition has been made a little bit favorable, because City is right now just a point ahead of us. In case we manage to get a draw or a win,
just 1 point.
At least
we are still within reach.
And remember, we are I think it is Arsenal and Tottenham that are still unbeaten. If we could manage to keep that at all costs, I believe Saka could start if it's the only result we have.
Well, okay, the only reason why I would start Saka in this game is you've got him as our best informed player right now, especially in attack. So the numbers is producing 5 goals and 5 assists in 10 games so far. No player in Europe has done that. No player in Europe has those numbers. That is the only reason why we play him. But I still think we've got to preserve him. We've got to protect him. And I've said it on my starting 11 show. I would definitely rotate Saka. I would leave him out of this team, like completely, not even from the bench. I'll leave him completely, and we go bare, without Saka, because eventually, if you play him in this game, it's a high intense game. If you lose him, you're risking playing playing Chelsea without him, playing Liverpool first leg without him, playing Brighton without him, playing all these clubs without him, and we know Arsenal look lightweight without him. So I'll definitely drop him in this game. I'll drop him.
The first question would be, what is the goal? You know, all of us would like Saka to rest, but would you risk him resting against Man City?
It's a tough call, and I think Mikkel knows that, right? And by saying he's in contention in this press conference, he's just given us a lot of hope that he will play. I think what the Arsenal fan has had, he will play, right? Because contention means that there is maybe a 60% chance. I would personally rotate him, because you could lose this game with Saka and lose Saka. You could win this game without Saka, and that could be a double win.
The winning side could be a double, but still could be a double loss. In case, I know. Tottenham happens to win, and then Man City wins, and you're going to remain at the very, very big disadvantage. I believe if we can have Saka, even if he's around 75% fit, it is okay. His impact, you never know. That one goal could be a change. Could be a very big change. That one assist. The fear factor.
I know. And I said
because I know. I've seen the previous 3 games Arsenal have been playing. I think the last one, which team were playing? The last
Bournemouth.
You remember Saka was a very big factor.
He scored the first goal. He almost, brought a penalty. He almost, scored a second. Again, he's been lively for us. Very lively.
Every discussion that involves Man City against Arsenal, the biggest factors we have could be Bukayo Saka. You can think about the rival of Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, and Declan Rice. I don't think about very many others. Maybe William Saliba. So I don't think you would risk to take away your biggest player around. Odegaard could be there, but I think Saka is the most influential right now. So I would rather start him. Gets injured, it's okay. Actually, you rest. They can have it the way it was. Plays around 70 minutes, goes off, misses the international break. Those things have been happening. Remember how Jose Mourinho used to do it?
I know.
Ferguson used to do it.
Mourinho was a crazy one.
If it could be like that for once, maybe for once.
That's a tough call. That's a very tough call, actually. And the other tough call is between Ramsdale and Raya. And we talked about it off camera, and he told me he would start Ramsdale in goal. And they said I would start Raya because his confidence is on the low right now, and would love to probably make amends and cover for the mistake he made. If you're Mikel Arteta, what do you do? It's one game to the international break. Raya has started almost every game but one in the Carabao Cup, where Ramsdale started. Do you rotate Raya in this game, or do you keep him until the international break and then you start afresh with the rotation?
I'm not changing my view that I told you. Personally, I'll be starting Ramsdale. Right now,
I don't think Ramsdale
is now struggling for playing time.
He is.
So the push that is going to be there for him to do an extra mile. And David Raya's confidence is dropping. I think it is okay. It is okay. We can bring back David Raya because I believe in terms of engaging the game and all that,
and consistency as well,
better than Ramsdale. But we have a very nice goalkeeper on the bench. I believe we can have Ramsdale back, and maybe after the international break we can bring back David Raya. But for this game, you never know. Arsenal things do change. I don't think it is even a very big question. Remember Bernard Reno? Reno just did something like that. A few slight mistakes.
And I think it was also after the international break. It was after the first international break, Leno didn't come back in goal.
Before Reno. You remember this guy, the man who used to put on a mask? No. The guy who used to put on a mask. Peter Cech just made like 2-3 mistakes and Reno came. So it should be like that. We need to win. Right now the focus is who is going to add more impact on the team. That is it. And remember, 12 games, no win. We need to win this one at least.
Well, I personally would play David Raya for the reason he will need to prove a point that probably I caused the mistake and caused the fashad in midweek, but I'm still this good. And in such an important game, I think he will be disappointed with himself against Tottenham Hotspur. Not really because he had a lot to do with the goals, but he didn't win. Like it's a big stage. And Ramsdale has played on a couple of big stages. He won both of the North London derbies last year against Spurs. He won both of the London derbies against Chelsea as well, and kept a couple of clean sheets in those games. So I think Raya has a point to prove. But I hear you when you say Ramsdale should start, because I liked him against Brentford. He played like he was under pressure, and he played like he was, he wanted to come back and go, right? So if I saw Ramsdale start, I wouldn't be worried. If I saw Raya start, I don't think I would be worried as well. I really wouldn't.
I believe, with an exception of, I think, Ederson and a few goalkeepers in Premier League. Right now, Ederson is having almost like the best goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Not just keeper, but goalkeepers. Ramsdale is just slightly below David Raya. Yeah. And since he's struggling for, I don't know, the playing thing, I believe it would be better you have Ramsdale struggles, because this is a very big game that is making a statement. If you believe you're still a title contender, you don't want to lose against Man City. And even if you're going to lose, you don't need a 4-0, you don't need a 4-1. At least we'll be winning a margin of 1-0. Because if Newcastle was able to, and then, I don't know, this team, the Wolves Sky, why can't Arsenal actually defeat Manchester this time round? This is the best time we have.
Actually, that's the big question. We've not won in 12, but we come against Manchester City side that don't have Rodri. They do not have Kevin De Bruyne as well. Yeah. So, and they don't have Ilkay Gundogan anymore, by the way. And I think whatever they've tried to do, Ilkay Gundogan is still a big space. I think they've tried to, kind of paper over the cracks left by Kevin De Bruyne, but Ilkay Gundogan, his deep line creativity is something they love. So, is this our golden chance to beat Man City and get that cast out of the way? And probably, if we beat them, it helps us, in terms of confidence. It helps us in terms of, sending a message and a warning sign. Is this our golden chance?
I believe at the moment, Man City is I think at its worst. When we compare to the other teams that we've been playing against.
Yeah. And compared to the last 6 years, by the way.
Yes. Right now, I think it is the only chance Arsenal has to prove a point. Look, those days, we used to have the likes of Sadio Aguero. Aguero is no more. Anyway, you can talk about Haaland. And of course, Haaland will not add what
Aguero is a dynamic forward. Exactly. Absolutely dynamic.
Last season, let me just compare 2 seasons. Yeah. This season and last season. We had Riyad Mahrez. Yeah. Of course, it's no longer here. We had Gundogan. It's not here. KDB is not here. Right now we had Rodri. Rodri is a box to box. Can give you what exactly a complete midfielder.
It's the best for me. It's the best defensive midfielder in the world.
So right now, Man City is struggling partly because of him, and it is a golden chance. I don't think Arsenal will need to explain a lot to prove the point as why they lost the game. Sure. Right now, it is just a matter of having things put together. Every material and strong point we have should be put to use to have these guys win on Sunday. Sure. Because right now, if you don't have KDB, you can be having any other one, but you don't have a substitute for KDB.
You can't. And I think it's one thing that is disturbing Pep. He's looking at Erling Haaland as one of the biggest assets in the team. But then Erling Haaland is to be facilitated, and he doesn't have Kevin De Bruyne. And he's gone, do I drop Haaland and facilitate the new system? And then it's like, I cannot drop Haaland. 52 goals last campaign, I just can't drop him. But let's look at ourselves. Look at City. They have a few players missing. We have a few players missing as well. But we have the boost of Thomas Partey coming back, and potentially Saka could be back. Let's talk about that midfield. Predominantly it's been Kai, Odegaard, and Rice. That's the three, with Zinchenko tucking into midfield and forming that midfield four. What would you love to see, right? Because I've said, for me, Partey should play, and alongside him, Declan Rice, Odegaard as the creative number 10, as the pivot, right? Just to make sure that we've got that midfield dominance, just to make sure that they don't bully us, and just to look better. Because I think Partey, Rice, defensively they look better, but also going forward, you could have better ball progression than Kai Havertz. Would you drop Kai? Would you play Vieira?
There is no question. It is lastly, I'll not for Kai Havertz. For reasons you know better.
But he played well in the Community Shield, by the way. And I've not given him a benefit of the doubt for that. But he played well in the Community Shield, and he almost scored twice. But he played as a centre forward in that game.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't say Kai is badly off or too bad. It's not. But of course, he's struggling to enter into the club.
Yeah, sure.
I know. Off the camera, you can agree with me that Kai Havertz is good. He's a very talented guy, but he's still struggling.
He is Kevin De Bruyne levels in talent.
I don't believe that.
He is.
I do not believe that. I will never
Kai Havertz, talent-wise, is Kevin De Bruyne levels. That, and I'm serious. He's Kevin De Bruyne levels. We might never see it again.
Let's just leave that question to the
We might never see
viewers.
We might never see it again, but
I would like
his talent is there.
I would like them to give to share their views about that. I don't believe Kai Havertz can even give you 70% of KDB.
Talent-wise, he can. I'm telling you, talent-wise, he can. If he can get unlocked at Arsenal, we'll come back
just
to this
waiting for only one thing. When Kai Havertz will give us
a hat-trick.
Only. I don't need a goal actually. I don't need. At least 2 assists from him.
In one game.
Just one game.
Could be this weekend.
At least to cover those spaces left by Odegaard and Jesus or whatever. Because that is the Premier League.
Yeah, I see him. I personally see him as a goal-scoring midfielder, and I really still think
you never convince me that Kai is at the level of KDB.
If he scores 10 this campaign, have I convinced you?
I can't be convinced.
Because he has 9 to go.
A penalty. A massive penalty.
I know.
Okay. But I think my midfield would be okay. I would like Rice to start this game. But because we are going to play against MANCITY, we don't need the likes of Kai Havertz. Havertz is okay, he's a very talented guy. I don't mean to despise him. But when it comes to contribution and physicality, I don't think he can compete with the Thomas Partey. I actually told you coming that I would like to exaggerate it. Have 3 holding midfielders. I like to have Declan Rice. I like to have Thomas Partey. Of course, Rice can contribute going in front.
Yeah,
and, of course, holding. That one Partey can do it very well. Tackles, of course, you know. And maybe Jorginho. The only reason why I need Jorginho is because, you know, against MANCITY, Arsenal always be the underdog.
Yeah.
So we will need that one pass. That one pass, and you know how Jorginho can do that.
Well,
that one pass to Odegaard, that one pass to Bukayo Saka, and that one pass to
if you're playing Jorginho, Rice and Partey, I think that sends a message that you're playing for a draw. I think there was a time when we played against Chelsea, and I think it was Mourinho there, and you know he used to hybrid David Luiz as a 6.
Yes.
So he played David Luiz in midfield, and then he played N'Golo Conte in midfield as well, and he played I think he played around 4 defensive midfielders at the time that he had at Chelsea, and I'm like, he's come to play for a draw, and in the end it was a draw. So do you think you want to play MANCITY with a clear indication it's a draw, or you want to go and fight for it? You want to go and because that midfield contains City, but can it contain it to an extent that they cannot score one? Because if they score one with you know Jorginho, Rice and Partey, you might not score one.
In the last, I think, around 15 games, Arsenal playing against MANCITY, you've conceded 39 goals.
I know.
And you've only managed to score.
There are also a couple of different teams during that stretch.
It is okay.
You've got the Mustafis playing their part in that stretch. Then you've got the David Luiz as well playing a stretch. And then Rob Holding, most of them are no longer at the club.
Let's just leave them and focus on last season.
Okay.
We considered 4 goals
at the Emirates.
Exactly. So, if I tell you that I'll first concentrate at securing the first point and I maintain my unbeaten run and
you've got
maybe
a point.
to level it with MANCITY, it would be a very nice shot. It would be a very nice one because you're not sure with Manchester City. I would be sure if it was actually I would be sure even if it was Liverpool. But against City, I've not seen it happening. That's why I tell you I could think about congesting the midfield. and think about safety first, like Mourinho, before they looking for goals. Because you saw it with the Newcastle. With a 1-0, they were able to make it. And it is very possible. You don't know, Arsenal has been nowadays thinking about the penalties, free kicks, and all that. Last game we won by a penalty, and others. So if we have a few set pieces, and then we can convert.
You've actually done well winning penalties.
It is okay if we can have a moment like that one, and we could get one. Who knows? It could be the end. Because I'm not expecting Arsenal to score 3 goals against Manchester.
I know it could happen. It could happen because they are not that good.
And it is very possible with that worst squad for Manchester, without the Rodriguez, without the KDBs, without everyone, for Manchester to win a 4-0 against Arsenal, and at Emirates, moreover. So I would not like to say that. I would not like to say that.
Look, I've seen pragmatic teams struggle against City, but for example, last campaign I think I saw Crystal Palace. What they did is they sat back, but not very deep. And Man City won that game with a penalty. I think it was Michael Olise, a foul on Gundogan. And what I liked about it is they sat back and they didn't allow Man City get in behind them. So when you play those 3, that could be one of the reasons why I might agree with you. I think what Mikel wants and what we've seen over the years, he wants to go toe-to-toe with every Premier League side. He wants to go, he wants to be at the same level. He wants to play his own football against Premier League side, so that he can create an identity, can create a style of football. In the end, that benefits you. Every team comes preparing for you as compared to you, preparing for them. So I would love us to be brave, pragmatic a little bit, but brave. But for you, that is too pragmatic. That's too defensive. That is too cautious.
What you call Arteta's strength is what I call his weaknesses. Because we've seen Pep changing. And they have used aerial balls. They have used counterattacks. They have tried sometimes. Arteta, if it is not the tic-tac style, it is done. And they are going to give you almost 4. You're still on your tic-tac. Yet you had a chance of just having it not so vibrant, but it can, at the end of the day, bring the result. Because if I have the likes of Thomas Partey can contribute to the defense, then you have Rice, Rice can accelerate, and then maybe Jorginho can also help you. And then we are thinking about the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes is there. Zinchenko, of course, after 3, joins the midfield. So literally we have the midfield, and since it is congested with Arsenal, Manchester would like to open up. And if they do open up, of course we have enough cover. Since the likes of Saliba and
Gabriel
Magalhaes, they are protected by the midfield. It is okay, they can open, widen the midfield, and then we have that line of defenders. Other than having Zinchenko, Havertz will never help you in acceleration, will never help you in defense. He's not going to look for.
Well, defensively, he's winning tackles. By the it's pretty
against which
upside.
Team?
Yeah, true. But he's the biggest ball winner Arsenal behind the Clarence.
It is okay.
Statistically, this campaign.
I don't think it will be the case against Manchester.
But then also, if you look at him, I don't think he's physically adapted to this Arsenal team. But again, he's one of the physical players in the team. So he's one of the players that can match City's players 1v1 physically. Like, he's tall, he's got a fall in him, he can fight for the ball as well. So he's not totally useless.
If you have Thomas Partey and Declan Rice, and you're looking for someone who is physical, would you rather start Havertz and you leave Partey on the bench?
I would start him over Jorginho. Because it's more physical. And Jorginho has got a mistake in him, by the way.
The only reason is why I would start Jorginho, but not him. Of course, Jorginho does mistakes. Almost is going to make a mistake. But of course, he will contribute.
Obviously.
One is fighting for the ball. 2 is having that pass that I've for so long I've been waiting for it. I told you from the likes of Havertz. I've not seen it. Jorginho can try to shoot.
Well, he's tried once or twice.
What if it can happen on the Sunday game? Because this time around we are going to be the underdogs, which means we shall concentrate on aerial balls
and shooting outside the penalty area.
Yes, and maybe having the likes of Saka and Jesus if not Nketiah to start, of course. But if we have, I think any can start the game. But if we can at least win a penalty or something, you'll be sure that if it is far away, you have the Junior can have it. The problem I have with Havertz is not contributing in acceleration and in defense. Winning tackles, it can be there, but against which teams? You can have like you have 10 recoveries against Bournemouth.
Well, you can only beat what is in front of you. That's what we've always said. You can only play what's in front of you. If it's Bournemouth that you have, if it's Fulham that you have, if it's Crystal Palace that you have, that's what he's got to play.
What if we thought about frustrating Pep? Pep side. We frustrate them. We first share with them a rough game, and after maybe we can bring in the likes of the Havertz, around 70.
I think that would work. That would work. I think it is it's a strategy that I've thought of, frustrating City. And I think if we had buried our chances in the Community Shield, we had played that very well, because Julian Timber was not allowing the likes of Jack Grealish and whoever was playing on the left hand side to have that kind of joy. And then Haaland was taken out of the game by Saliba, and therefore it meant that City did have numbers in the final third. They didn't have active players in the final third. So I would agree with you if you say deactivate them for some time and then bring on Havertz to score the win goal. I'll definitely be on your side.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking about is not giving Man City again a luxury of shooting at Arsenal without a shield.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I'm thinking about safety first for the first time. I told you I hate bullshit football. I don't like the likes of United where football is about running, coming back, going at I don't like it. That's why I like the trick that was used by Newcastle last time against PSG. They had a physical game, but of course it was okay. I can talk about the pace. And they could use their chances very well.
Look, I don't think we are, and this is not to undermine us. We are at the level there, at Newcastle's level in terms of quality. I don't think we are there in terms of I should say life and motivation, because when you look at Newcastle in that game, they fought for the ball from minute 1 to minute 90. They did everything right by the script, and I've not seen a team. I think the one team I've seen play so well from 1 minute to minute 90 was Spurs against Manchester United. They did everything the manager asked. They fought for the ball, the first ball, the second ball, the third ball, every 50-50, they were winning it. And I think that performance that Arsenal need was a performance we put in 2022 in January. We lost 2-1, but we did everything right. PARTEY was everywhere, was so good, we fought for every ball. It's the game where I've seen Arsenal win every 50-50 ball, every 50-50 challenge. It was going our way. We were doing actually very well. But do we have, can we do it like Newcastle did? Can we? Do you think our players are there yet in terms of motivation, especially this campaign?
They are, but the only problem we have, they are motivated because everybody is thinking about getting that title. But the only challenge we have is that some of them are overworked. I think they are exhausted, they are tired, they need some time to rest. If it was not the case, they are. But sometimes we need to just agree the fact that the opponent is stronger than you. Most especially when you're playing the same football. Had it been the likes of, defensive teams, people don't want to talk about their teams out there. But if I could mention about some of the defensive teams, Arsenal would be fine because there we can try to crack the ball. But right now,
West Ham, I think,
the likes of West Ham. But if it is Man City, you're going to play almost the same style of football. The same style. With the Pep Guardiola, who is almost the father of that style. Right now, I don't think Arsenal have the point. That's why I thought about safety first.
Going pragmatic, defensive, being safe, and
exactly.
I know.
If Jorginho fails, take him off. Bring him at Edimeni. Edimeni is there. Edimeni can help you defensively in terms of accelerating. And you never know. You don't need 10 goals. You just need 1 goal to secure the win, or 2. It is done.
Make sure you're letting me know in the comment box below, guys, what exactly do we need to do to beat Manchester City? Do you agree with him to go pragmatic, defensive, or do you actually go with me, literally just put your style out there and let Manchester City deal with it, or let's deal with Manchester City. But then there's a question. Do you think this game will decide what happens in May, who wins the title? Is it that important, or it's good that it comes this early, because even if we lose it, we still have another 30 games to go?
Every game counts.
Yeah, look, listen, every game counts. I don't believe in Mikel Arteta's philosophy of game by game, because this is the reason. Game by game is good because if you win 5 out of 6, for example in the Champions League, you're out of the group. But game by game is bad because it doesn't allow you to look at the bigger picture. And for me, last campaign, if you had told the players, okay, we've gone game by game for 20 games, it's now 18 games to go. These are our next 5 fixtures, and you need to pick up points. This is how each and every opponent plays, and this is what we require. And mentally, he would have prepared the players. So my problem with game by game is you reach at points of pressure, right? Game by game means that you treat every fixture as it comes, right?
Exactly.
The bigger approach is you look at moments of pressure. At the beginning of the season, there's pressure. During the middle of the season, more about being cautious, right? We are falling behind. And towards the end of the campaign, it's more pressure. It's a lot of pressure. It's summer, it's hotter, games are difficult, and there is a lot to lose, right? And I think we didn't do that last campaign. We didn't look at the bigger picture. We tried to go game by game, right? I don't agree with that. I wanted
that to come with a system of focusing on maybe 10 games.
A chunk of games, a period.
It will be difficult that people will be thinking about, we are getting exhausted, we are getting tired.
Yeah, true,
Yet we have maybe a Newcastle ahead, or we have Chelsea after the international break. Let's first concentrate at winning against the City, and then we structure for Chelsea. That's why I like that technique. The challenge is what you mentioned.
Yeah.
But still, I think if these guys are focused and they have it in mind that we must win this game, we should not think about reserving all our energy for the next one. It is okay. You see, the only challenge we shall get with thinking about very many or a couple of games.
5 games away, yeah.
Someone will be like, okay, now we have a 1-0, we shall need to rest some of them.
Sure.
Which is not true, because it works for some clubs, but it is not going to work for a club like Arsenal, because sometimes you concede, over-concentrate and all that. So we shall need to just tell them that we need this one first.
But
then others will find us out.
If I watched a lot of press conferences of Pep Guardiola last season, and every day when he talked about Arsenal, he talked about his boys, and he said they know we need to get Arsenal off the top of the table. And when they got on the top of the table, he always said the boys know we've got to keep winning because Arsenal are coming. I think he didn't go, we go game by game. He looked at the bigger picture and told the boys, listen, the next 5 games, this is what Arsenal are. The next 5 games, this is what we are playing, and this is who we are playing against. So the next 5 games, we've got to win, right? It prepares the players mentally, and it allows players to, mature a little bit, right? I think when you go game by game, it is running away from the responsibility and from the demands, which are always present or in the Premier League. If it was 10 years ago, you can go game by game, because when you go game by game, you win 20 games, you're already champion. You just need to win a few couple of games and draws, and you're champion. This time around, 20 games is not enough. 30 games in, and you're on top of the table, 248 days on top of the table, it's not a guarantee that you're winning. So I personally think we've got to look at the bigger picture. We've got to go, if we beat Man City today, right, we are on top of the table, and therefore we don't have a difficult opponent again until Liverpool.
The other challenge I have with Arsenal is just one, or with Arteta. I think he has not prepared his side to understand that we have games that are more palatable, that are easier than others. It is okay.
And that's the problem with game by game. That's the problem with
I don't want to sit here and I tell people that I want us to win. Of course, I would like us to win each and every game. But losing against Man City it's not bad. It's not too bad.
Sure.
But drawing against the Fulham,
it's bad. It's catastrophic.
It's very, very bad.
Sure.
Because you don't have very many teams that are going to that will be losing against small teams. Manchester knows what to do with the small teams. So I think
actually we drew against Fulham the weekend before, and then the next weekend Man City pumped them 5.
Exactly. What you need to know is that we need to prepare these guys mentally. Understand that there are games that we must not
lose
at all
costs. Whether you win it in the 90, whether you win it early on, it's okay. You've got to win.
Do whatever it takes to win against these ones. And then there are teams that we shall have a debate, like Manchester. We are talking about now bringing every asset we have, almost to put there a shield that is very strong, at least to protect our goal. If we happen to get a 2-1 moments, it is okay. It is enough. But there are games that we should win at all costs. If it was like that, I don't have any problem with one game. I don't have it.
Well, the boys have told me on the channel and some of the lads that because stop calling this the most important game of the campaign because we have 30 more games to go, and you know we can eventually turn it around. And I kind of agree with them because when you lose against City and you know you win the next game against Chelsea, I think you've bounced back. No one expects you to go and, you know, pick up 3 against City. If you don't, it's all right. If you do, it massively boosts your confidence. As simple as that.
You know, I told you in this match, I'm starting with a point.
1 point.
Just 1. You know, if we lose against the City, it is going to be a 4 points gap. And you know, most of the times, if Guardiola is ahead of you 4 points,
it's over.
It is sometimes tends to be very hard for you to bounce back.
It's over.
That's why I feel like if we happen to get a draw, it will be a very nice start. Okay, we start from a level ground, and then we see what we shall do with Chelsea, and then other clubs
like Brentford.
But right now, what we need is to secure, to first get a result from this one. That's why I don't agree with you guys if you say that this is not the last game. Every game must come in as a final.
Well, every game must come in as a final. I don't know what we're going to focus on eventually, because I don't think we're focusing on all titles and all trophies. No, I don't think we are. So I don't know what you're going to focus on. I don't want us to focus on the Premier League. I think it's more difficult than the Champions League to win. But if you want to win the Premier League, then this game counts. Like massively. It counts massively.
Exactly. And I think Arteta's side is concentrating more on Champions League and Premier. That's why I thought about us being kicked out of Carabao. I was like,
I actually want us to win the Carabao Cup.
I just wanted us to go to be knocked out of Carabao instantly. No. You know why? You know, we are keeping piles of games.
I know.
Very many and very difficult. Nowadays, I don't know whether you guys have noticed that each game is taking almost 115 minutes.
True.
Each game. So these guys are worked out.
Even then, I wouldn't consider losing any step in any silverware competition, because for me, I'm like 88% sure City will win the game, unless otherwise. Right? Okay. Unless Liverpool step up really, right? Or we step up.
It is possible that way, but still you cannot take away the chance.
Of course you can't take away the chance. And then you look at the Champions League. Apart from these crazy, match predictors, we are not favourites. I think Bayern would be favourites, Madrid would be favourites, City would be favourites, and a couple of other clubs that have been there and they know the dynamics of the Champions League. So in those two competitions, we're not favourites. Can we make ourselves favourites for the Carabao Cup? City are not in there. As simple as that. If City are not in the competition, every team has a chance to win it. The FA Cup, if City can get out early, or maybe later, in the later stages, again, we have a chance to win the FA Cup because it's just, knockout. So I would say this season, we've got to focus on silverware. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, not bad.
For me as an individual, I'll think about reducing the number of games we have.
But we did that last season, it didn't work. We played one game in the Carabao Cup, we played one game in the FA Cup, which was against City, and we played until the quarterfinals, right? Was it the quarterfinals or round of 16 of the Europa League, and Lisbon kicked us out, and it did work. It did work.
Arteta over-concentrated on Premier League. I think that was his main focus. That's why he had to pull out. I think somehow, maybe even Lisbon was lucky.
Well, they were lucky, but they were also better than us on the evening.
Yeah, but right now, if you're going to be a contender in each and every title, with our squad depth that you understand. You know that Arsenal has only one starting 11.
We've got a second one, which is not as good, but at least it's there.
We just have names on the bench.
I know.
We have Fabio Vieira. We have
Emile Smith Rowe.
Okay.
You've got Emile Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira. You've got Jakub Kivio. You've got Tomiyasu. Yeah. You've got Ramsdale. You've got Cedric Soares. You've got Cedric Soares.
You're laughing.
Okay, you have Eddie Nketiah.
No. Without wasting a lot of time on this, Arsenal has got only 2. Okay, 3. Raya or Ramsdale on the bench.
Yeah.
You have Fabio Vieira, and then you have I think Trossard. You have Trossard.
PARTEY and PARTEY if Rice doesn't play.
Okay, it's okay.
And Kai.
I don't believe in Kai.
People on this channel love Reece Nelson, and I think because it was more like a game changer last campaign.
Yeah. And by the way, Nelson acts, but it's not a person who is so reliable.
Yeah. I saw him in Lenny's game.
Maybe against PSV. We shall just have the Odegaards, the so and so sit, and then we have Nelson, we have Fabio Vieira, we have PARTEY, we can win. But it is not a reliable team.
The second team is not as reliable, true. But we have some 6 good players we can call on.
They have 5. Only 5.
Jorginho is a good player. Jorginho, PARTEY, and Vieira. Those are 3 in midfield. In attack, we don't have probably Trossard. Those are 4. There. And then defensively, I think Tomiyasu is a reliable player. Like really reliable. And Kivio
in your team, in your starting
and Ramsdale, by the way.
Tomiyasu will be reliable. In mine, I don't believe in Tomiyasu.
Why?
For only 2 reasons. One, I don't know, Tomiyasu can help you defensively. But the only challenge is that decision making.
Yeah, at times it disturbs him.
Yeah.
But it also comes from the lack of game time. I think he should be rotated better. I saw last season, it was only Manuel Akanji that played more games than any other player in the Premier League for defense in MANCITY, and he played 16. So that is how well those players were rotated. And I'm thinking, what if Mikel does that? Play Jakub Kivio 15 games, play Gabriel Magalhaes 15 games, play Tomiyasu 15 games, and then you can have your Saliba for 30 games. No one will actually care. But we don't rotate our players, as well as clubs like City or clubs like Brighton.
The challenge I'll get, and I love always with Arsenal, is that we don't have the best. Simply.
So would you advocate that in the next summer we sign something like 4 more players?
If it was possible, I mean, if it could be done,
why not? You would advocate for 4 more players?
Actually, I'm thinking about the January transfer window.
Yeah.
We need like
2 more players.
Yes, we need a substitute for Bukayo Saka.
That's 1.
We will need a striker.
That's 2.
And I think Tony will be there.
Yeah. That's the end of it. We are the rest of the team is alright.
Yeah. And then if you're still in the 3 competition
by then,
you need like 4 more. You need someone who is going to substitute for the side of there is Trossard, there is Martinelli.
You have Emile Smith Rowe who also loves to play there, and Reece Nelson.
The only challenge you have with all of them, they are average.
Natural.
You need someone who is outstanding. I don't know how Arsenal had to be, and then just go the likes of Palmer for us to.
I think Palmer is a quality player. Can you
imagine Chelsea managing to secure the likes of Palmer and Arsenal managing to secure the signature?
But I think Palmer is a player that you have a lot of work to do with him as a player. So with Kai, you've got to polish him and you've got to get him back to his standards. With Palmer, you're looking at the bigger picture. You're looking at the future. You're looking at what he could become. With Kai, we already know what he can do. We already know what he can become. His career is formed. You've got to polish him. And the moment you polish him, he's going to become like Odegaard. Because I compare Kai Havertz to the Odegaard signing. He comes in, not played at Madrid for a long time. He had impressed before at Real Sociedad, and I think at Feyenoord or AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. But he had some polishing to do, right? We had some polishing to do. It's the same thing with Kai. I think with Palmer, Mikel looked at him as like, he's good. Maybe players like Palmer, Gabriel Vieira as well, we were linked with. And he's like, maybe good at the moment, but we might need some 2-3 years to actually get the best out of him.
can give me all the explanation, but not justifying the signature
of Kai Havertz.
Because it's not bad, but for a team that is focused at winning,
it's kind of, it feels like a step back.
We don't have a luxury of time of starting Kai Havertz. Like, give him 38 matches the ones we told me.
Well, Mikel said 77 times when they play together. How many have they played together? I think around 4 in pre-season and around 10 this season, so that's 16. We've got around 60 times to see them together. 61.
2 seasons to come.
Which means we are ahead of schedule. Which means we are in the process and we are enjoying the process.
Back to the point is, I'll think about Arsenal having 94. At least the offensive in the attacking side, and then maybe we can go. But if you're going to substitute, maybe now you have Martinelli off with the Nelson, there is a very big gap between the difference.
Yes, it's different.
That's the only challenge. But back to the game, I think. What do you expect from the game?
I've gone strongly. I've gone with the Manchester City win. I think it's a line between optimism and fact. The fact is that City will come. They know how to deal with Arsenal and they will pick up 3 points. The optimism is can we guard at least for a draw? That is the optimism. But I'm going to go with the fact. I think City will win it 2-1.
Mine is going to be if you happen to see Kai Havertz, if you happen to see Arsenal playing the same game,
we played against Lens.
Arsenal is going to lose and 3 goals
and about. Okay.
But if you go defensive,
that's not going to happen. You know, if he's not going to play Kai Havertz, he's not going to play El Neni, Rice, Partey, Jorginho. He's not going to do that.
No. Even if we had Thomas Partey
and Rice, just enough.
At least we can secure a draw. But Kai off the game. At least we come in the Chelsea game and all others. Kai is not a class playing against City.
I've backed Arsenal in every game we've played this campaign. I'm not backing us this time. I'm just not. It's either I'm still in shock of the Lens game, or I've not been convinced this campaign. We played a couple of good games, but I'm not really generally convinced that we are there, that we are touching.
Yeah, for me, the biggest I can expect from the match will be a draw.
A draw.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching the Arsenal Manchester City preview on Cossy's Arsenal podcast. Make sure you subscribe. You hit the like button as well. I was with Vincent, and I'll see you right in the next one.